The NBC News and Wall Street Journal points to some early challenges for Hillary Clinton. While Clinton is still the Democratic favorite, her negative rating has jumped 6 points from last month. It's now an even split when it comes to how Americans view the former Secretary of State. People said her strongest attributes are her knowledge, experience, and ability to get things done. But at the bottom of the list, she's underwater by a 2-to-1 margin when it comes to being honest and straightforward. Still, she tops Jeb Bush and Marco Rubio by 6 points apiece when it comes to a general election matchup. She leads Scott Walker by 10 and Rand Paul by 4. Joining us from Las Vegas, where Clinton is campaigning today, NBC News chief foreign affairs correspondent and host of Andrea Mitchell Reports, Andrea Mitchell. Andrea, tell us about what she's going to be doing today.
Well, she's going to try to focus on immigration policy, Mika. She's going to be talking about a path to citizenship, trying to set herself apart from both Marco Rubio and Jeb Bush. But at the same time, her campaign is launching a new website and a social media campaign, trying to counteract all those questions about Clinton cash in the book that is officially to be released today, despite all of the prior publicity, all those questions about foreign donations to the family foundation. Hillary Clinton hits the campaign trail today in Nevada, the scene of a fierce battle with Barack Obama when they ran against each other in 2008, leaving Democrats here bitterly divided. Clinton won the popular vote while Obama won a majority of delegates. As Clinton tries to mend fences here, she and her husband are facing a bigger hurdle, the controversy over foreign donations to the Clinton Foundation. In an exclusive interview with NBC's Cynthia McFadden, the former president insisted those donations were not influence peddling and defended his wife.
Not a single solitary fact has been adduced that she has done anything wrong. People should live to be as honest as she is.
Republican candidates are pouncing, questioning the Clintons' trustworthiness.
Bill Clinton is saying what Hillary Clinton has said on many occasions: just trust us. Just trust us. And unfortunately, trust is earned through transparency. And I think they have not been particularly transparent on a whole host of things.
With the new book, Clinton Cash, officially released today, analysts say the controversy is not going away.
It looks really, really bad. And it's more than, I think, what Bill Clinton says. It's not just a perception problem. It's a reality problem.
And still, on another front, Clinton's lawyers now say that they've told the House committee investigating Benghazi that she will appear once to testify on both Benghazi and all those missing emails and the private email server, but not, and she'll stay as long as they want to talk, and she'll answer all of their questions, she says. But she will not appear twice at 2 separate hearings, and that's now expected the week of May 18th. So more fireworks to come on that front as well.
NBC's Andrea Mitchell, thank you very much.
John Heilemann, you have a lot of Clinton supporters saying this is all much ado about nothing, and we heard that her scrubbing her email server was much ado about nothing, and well, it is actually having an impact, and whether it's because of the reality or because of a media firestorm, as David Brock and Howard Dean and James Carville would say. The fact is, Hillary Clinton's approval rating stayed up around 66%, 65, 66%, according to a Pew survey I'm looking at right now, and was 65% just 2.5 years ago, her approval rating. Now it's 42 approve, 42 disapprove. It's quite a drop.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, there are 2 numbers that jump out from this poll, and one of them is a good number for her, and one of them is a bad number for her. The good number is 76% of Democrats still view her favorably. Still on a glide path to be the Democratic nominee. The people in the party still support her, like her, trust her, and yet in the broader electorate, 25%, only 25% view her as honest and straightforward, and that is a crushingly bad number. That is the kind of number you do not get elected president with a number like that. Now, election day is not today, and so she has time to fix it. But that is a bad place to be.
Let's look at those numbers. Those are Steve Ratner, Nixonian numbers. 25% consider you to be honest and trustworthy. How does she get around that? How does she get around the fact that we know that these revelations about money, because there was so much money changing hands from so many different sources, that the New York Times and the Washington Post and the Wall Street Journal are going to be finding new stories for the next year. How do they get ahead of this?
Well, a couple things. I think first, a poll rating she had when she left state is kind of an unsustainable number. You leave being Secretary of State, you're a hero, everything's great. Obviously, you're going to come down. I agree with you about the numbers. They're not good. They're terrible. Whatever. I don't think she has been as transparent as she should have been over the last few weeks as all this stuff has happened.
Do they feel that? I shouldn't ask you this because it'll get you in trouble. Yeah. John Heilemann, I will ask you the leading question. Do many people around Hillary Clinton feel like she has not been as transparent as she should have been over the past couple of weeks? That's what I'm hearing. Are you hearing the same?
I think there's a robust debate within Clinton world about whether she should be doing more actively to try to answer the questions that have been raised.
What I am hearing is the old-timers that have been through the old wars are drawing a line in the sand. Some of the younger, newer people that saw the mistakes of 2008 want her to get out, tell the truth faster, get out there and be transparent.
Look,
Go ahead.
Forget 2008. When you said old-timers, the old-timers who drew the line in the sand over Watergate, and basically said we're going to treat this as a piece of litigation, not as a political matter.
I think you mean Whitewater.
I'm sorry, Whitewater.
It's the same thing, right, Steve?
Same thing. Bad guys. No, a Whitewater. I think there's a lot to be said for that was not the right strategy, and they should have been more transparent. I think a lot of what happened wouldn't have happened. If I were advising her, I would tell her to go into a room with 6 reporters, no cameras, sit there for as long as anybody wants to sit there, answer every question, and put this behind her. I don't think the press conference at the UN did that. I think the testimony she's going to give in May will obviously help because she'll be asked a lot of tough questions there, but she's got to answer these questions.
There's this problem with there being no answers to some of these questions because of the scrubbed server. I think that I agree she should be transparent. She should, rip the veil off and sit down and give everybody every piece of information she can.
Yeah, but let's talk about the scrubbed server for 1 second, okay? I understand that it raises all these suspicions, concerns, whatever. You have personal emails. You may delete them.
Yes, but I also would use a State Department server, and I would not delete those.
Yes, but I think
those were turned over, and if she wanted to...
we don't know that.
The question is, and it's a straightforward question, the question is, did she or did she not regard emails about foundation business as personal emails or business emails? Because if her standard was anything related to the foundation is a personal email, and therefore I may delete it, we will never have answers to the questions on the basis of evidentiary, like actual electronic answers to these questions. There could be, that is the outstanding question in my mind, is what was the standard by which she judged personal versus business, and where did the foundation business fall in her mind?
That's a great question. I don't know the answer to that question, but I would say...
I'm not asking you, by the way. I think that's the question I would ask her. If she were sitting here, I would say, when you were deciding between personal and business, emails and email about foundation business, which category were they in?
And Dorian, this is
you still have to trust her.
And that question,
I don't think any of this.
Dorian, this has all fallen in such a way over the past month or two since the UN press conference. But I do remember, and I keep saying this, there were several people, the day that she revealed that she scrubbed the quote, personal emails, they immediately went to the foundation. And I keep talking about Ron Fournier, but he wrote a column immediately, in real time, while we were all focused on the server saying, this is all about the money. This is all about the Clinton Foundation money. This is all about the contributions. And now that she has scrubbed this and decided that she was going to determine what's personal, what's not personal, and not let anybody review them, he said, we will never get the answers we need on the finances of the foundation.
I don't think any of this matters. I think this whole conversation is beyond the point, because when you look at the head-to-head matchups, with her fall in the poll numbers, she still beats every single Republican contender. So, yes, this story is going to go on for a long time. She is going to testify before the Benghazi committee. But I think if you look at the fall in her poll numbers, and it's so early, and she's still beating all the Republican contenders, I don't think any of this will matter at the end of the day for her Democratic base.
We shall see. I think things always do tighten up, and there's a long way to go. We don't know who that one Republican's going to be that's